720 East Huntington, Monrovia. Building's in pretty good shape. This is the main drag. Heading west is a pretty affluent area. There's some nice retail about 1.5 miles further west. As you go more further east, it becomes a little bit less desirable of an area. The biggest issue that I've seen in this building is that the access to the rear for the loading dock and customer loading, there's no direct access. You have to drive approximately 2 blocks, and I'll do a separate video on the drive-by of what it would take. But if you see where that oil stop sign is down there, the street just past that, you have to make a right and then take it to the next side street, and that gets you to the rear of the property. The other thing that we can look at doing is possibly put an overhead door in the front for customer loading and unloading, and use the rear with the loading dock just for a semi. Pose a little bit of a problem if we're going to do that, because there may be a bearing wall. I can't tell. Oh, one other thing that before I go, the landscaping needs to be cleaned up pretty bad. I would think that the landlord would have to do that. You can see some of the weeds growing in between the paving, so it needs a pretty good cleanup on the outside. But when you walk in, the existing office of what we would be our showroom is kind of long and narrow. The building's 75 feet long, and you only have 20 feet width. You have a very low ceiling. It's only 7 foot 8 inches. You've got plenty of room above it, but I'm not sure if this wall here that separates it is a bearing wall. If it is a bearing wall, then we can open it up and put a header beam in there, but it kind of limits what we can do at the showroom. The sprinklers would need to be raised. You can see that there appeared to be some significant water damage into the ceiling, and it ran down the wall in here, so that probably needs to be addressed in the LOI. Not sure if this is black mold or not, but you can see that it looks like you might have some old issues that need to be cleaned up, so that needs to be addressed. So the idea would be to, depending on what we do with the overhead door, is to make maybe a 60 by 20 foot showroom. You've got the bathrooms that are in here are all non-compliant in ADA. You've got 2 restrooms in the showroom area, and a couple that go back into the warehouse area. Warehouse is wide open. You got lots of room. It slopes down. The ceiling runs from a low of 13 feet and slopes to a pitch of about 15.5. As I said, the building's all sprinkled, but the heads in the warehouse, for the most part, have all been turned up. You've got a couple that are low. It appeared that there was 6 swamp coolers that have been vacated, so all this ductwork could come out. All the light fixtures, though, and everything else need to be relamped. The whole warehouse needs to be redone. You got antiquated and a ton of power. Not certain what was here. I said maybe they used to do the electrocutions for California here. So you've got a 12-foot overhead door, and I'll walk into the back area. It's got a very nice fenced-in yard. This is cypress, and this is apparently the road that the customers would have to drive down. And again, like I said, I'll do a little quick drive-by to get into the loading area. It's an adequate loading dock. If we wanted to add a second door here, we might have a problem because we'd have to do something to move those electrical panel boxes, and that might cost a few dollars. The loading dock is not 100% level. It's I've measured it. It's a little lower on one side than the other side, but I think it's okay. You've got about 44 inches at the low point, and you got probably about a 3-inch variance. Just make sure I've got all. I think that's about it. Other than that, it's a nice building. I think it could be turned into a nice showroom. Plenty of place to put your wood. And that's it. I'll do a drive-by for the customer loading area.